This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional, and it is always recommended to hire a pest control pro in your area to perform any pest control in or outside your home. Pesticides can harm you and your loved ones. Anyone who is performing the information in this video is doing so at their own risk. If you decide to try the info provided in this video, please always check with the local laws in your area and read the labels of any product you use. The label is the law.
Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control. Hope everybody's having a good night. Accidentally pushed the wrong button, playing wrong music. Every week. That's the way streaming is. It's live and it's full of mistakes. Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing all right. I'm still kind of working on setting things up. But I'm here. I'm here and I'm willing to answer any questions that you may have. Don't hesitate to throw them at me. I'm still kind of working here on trying to get the stream set up and everything. But I'm here and I'm available for questions like always. Let's see here. I was trying to find a link. I like that song. Let's see. Okay. And this and that. There we go. I wanted to post a link there for people. All right. So how is everybody? Is everybody ready for the weekend? Everybody good to go? I know I say that every single week. I say, hey, it's almost the weekend because it's Thursday. Going into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, getting ready for the weekend. Now tomorrow, I got to kill termites and I got to drive a long way to visit family. And so my day is full, my weekend is full, but I'm here now. I'm yours, you guys, for about an hour or so, as long as I can sit here. I'm exhausted. Told my wife, I was like, man, I'm so tired. I don't know if I can live stream. And she's like, no, you got to go do it. People expect you to be there. You got to go. So I'm here because of her. So let's see. Biddy Pie said, I'm moving into a new place and brought bed bugs with me from either storage or the friend's house I was staying in interim. What's the best way to handle this while I finish moving in? So I actually have a video on moving so you don't take bed bugs with you. If this is what you're asking, I'm pretty sure this is what you're asking. And so let's see if I can share this. Let's see, let's move this window over here. And then we'll make this one big. And if you haven't moved in everything, that's great. Let me show you what to do. I'll show you the video you want to watch because I did. Oops, that's not the button I wanted to push. So first you go to my channel, which is www.youtube.com/greenacrespc. You could also put an @ symbol at the beginning of Green Acres, so like @greenacrespc. But anyway, you go here, you join, subscribe, all that good stuff. And then you scroll to videos, go over to videos right here, second link. And then you click this little button right here and you go, what was it? It was moving. Moving with bed bugs. And the very first video is how to avoid moving with bed bugs. Don't take bed bugs with you when you move. So that's the very first video. So let me share that. I'll copy the link and then I will post it here for you. Coretta White says, hi, Jason. I just sprayed my home with Crossfire this past weekend. My mom watches my disabled son daily while I work. When will it be safe for her to come back to my home? As long as the chemical's dry. I usually tell people to treat are you talking about chemical exposure, or are you asking about like just as long as the bed bugs, make sure the bed bugs are dead? Because that is relative. So when you're treating a home for bed bugs, as far as the pesticide goes, as long as it's dry, you're safe to re-enter the house as far as pesticide exposure. But as far as bed bug elimination, when you're doing something like that on your own and you're not having a professional come out and do it, one treatment may be good enough. You may need 2 or 3 treatments. It just depends, because you figure on, you're a novice, so you're doing this. I think you're on my course. I think you have my course. But what I tell people is, as long as the bed bugs have been gone for at least 30 days, you haven't seen any bed bugs, you haven't seen any blood spots, any poop stains, all the things that come with bed bugs. As long as you haven't seen that for at least 30 days, the industry standard is you are bed bug free. Now, does this mean you'll get them again in the future? I mean, sure, it's possible. You got them in the first place, but you typically go about 30 days to be bed bug free. That's what I tell everybody, is figure on a month at least. The reason I say this is because bed bug eggs take 6 to 10 days to hatch, and they also take 6 to 10 days to bite. So after your initial spray, it could be 3 to 4 weeks before you even know if the bed bugs are all dead or not. And so usually I tell people, if you're still seeing bed bugs after the 4th week, you need to treat again to make sure they're all dead. But if all the bed bugs are dead, then it's perfectly fine. She could come in now. I mean, it doesn't matter. She could come in as soon as, like I said, if you know the bed bugs are all gone, then you're good. Anybody can come in your house. Your mom, your sister, your cousin, your brother, whoever. It doesn't matter. Let's see. They're already here, but I'll be moving things from storage more than 30 days. So what I tell people to do when they're moving, now I sent that video, you can watch that video about moving, but what I tell people to do is you need to treat the apartment before you move in. You can treat your bed, mattress, you box spring, all the furniture. As you bring it in, you can treat that stuff. But you also want to treat the baseboards throughout the house. So like, if your house was empty. So I did a bed bug job. I actually did a bed bug job for somebody here in Lynchburg. I went out and it was a single wide trailer. They hadn't moved into it yet, but they were getting ready to like renovate and get ready to move in. They were cleaning it up, putting some fresh paint on the walls and getting ready to move in. And so what I did was I went in and I treated the entire trailer top to bottom, the top around the crown, like so like up around that area there where the cabinets, see how the cabinets meet the ceiling? Your crown is where the ceiling meets the wall. And so in a trailer, a lot of times they have like a crown molding up there. So you treat that. That's a crack that bed bugs can hide in. It's very common for bed bugs to be in crown molding. And so you treat that. You treat around the baseboards. If the place is empty, you don't really have furniture to treat. You treat everywhere the panel boards go together and you have like that little join there. You want to treat that. Any cracks in the wall, any cracks you could treat, you want to treat those. And so the bed bugs, if you were to accidentally bring them in your furniture, like your bed or your mattress or maybe just your personal belongings, when the bed bugs drop down and try to get established in the actual house that you live in, they die. They can't get established because they die. Let's see. Mick says, Jason, we talked last time on phone for about an hour or 2 live streams ago. I found a guy for $800 and he does 2 sprays 1 month apart. Each uses Temprid FX. He said it will get rid of them for sure. And if they're not, he will do 3 months insurance to come respray if not. And every 3 months later, he does $99 per extra spray only. But I'm hesitant to hire him because he isn't using Crossfire. So let me show you Temprid. Let's look at the label for Temprid, okay? Let's see if we can find. Let's go here. This actually, Do My Own is a good site if you ever need to like buy pesticides. This is actually a pretty good site. That's Temprid. Is that Temprid FX? Yes, it's Temprid FX. All right, so let's go. It's a bear. Actually, InView, I think, is the name of their company now. I think. But anyway, let's scroll down, and they have labels here. It's great. So if you scroll all the way down, well, that's reviews. Review. Okay, maybe it's up further. Let's see if I can find it. It's imidacloprid and cyfluthrin, which are both good chemicals. Labels. There we go. There's a little link right there. I didn't see that. I'm paying attention. All right, so let's go here. There it is. It's right here on the side. So let's pull up the label. And let's see what they say. This is the new label, not the old label. Let's see what they say about bed bugs, how to treat for bed bugs, if your exterminator is doing the right thing, if he's going to, as far as what the label is concerned. So the label are the directions of use. When I say the label is the law, that means follow the directions so you'll be able to do your job right. So let's see if he's actually doing the job right. I already know the answer. Anyway, let's go down here for bed bugs. In fact, we're on the computer, so let's Shift F, or is it Shift F or Control F? Control F? Control F. All right, let's find bed bug. All right, it says that there are 10 listings of bed bugs on this label. There's one here of pests that it controls. So bed bugs are on the label. Check, that's good. So we know that he can spray for bed bugs by using Temprid. Let's go down. All right, use rate, it tells you how to mix it. It says, except for bed bugs, use a higher specified rate for severe infestation. So this is the mixing label, how to mix for bed bugs. And then let's go down here. All right, application for indoor pests. It says use rate is 0.75, so it's 8 milliliters of Temprid FX insecticide per gallon of water is what you're mixing. Okay, controls bedbug populations that are resistant to pyrethroid insecticides. Efficacy of this product is not affected by heat treatments, so applications can be made before heat treatments in integrated pest elimination programs, bedbug elimination programs. Spray bugs and eggs directly whenever possible, following site directions below. Bedbug eggs that are directly treated with this product are killed outright, and young nymphs that emerge from eggs are killed by dried residues. All right, sounds great so far. For infested mattresses, remove linens and wash before use, which same as Crossfire. Apply to tufts, seams, folds, and edges until moist. Allow to dry before remaking the bed. Okay, same as Crossfire. Apply to bed springs, box springs, and interior of bed frames or headboards, including all cracks and joints. Okay, same as Crossfire. When bed bugs are found on upholstered furniture, apply only to the infested tufts, seams, folds, and edges, but do not apply to flat surfaces where prolonged human contact will occur, which is not on the Crossfire label. Crossfire, it doesn't specify. It says you could treat pretty much anywhere you want. If bugs heavily infest furniture, inside cushions, or batting, apply a labeled insecticide, dust, or consider fumigation. Apply as a crack and crevice treatment to all baseboard moldings beneath floor coverings and carpets, closets, shelves, curtains, furnitures, and picture frames that may provide harborage to bed bugs. All right, even more. Okay. Inside empty luggage, apply to seams, folds, edges until moist. Remove all clothes and other articles from luggage before application and allow treated areas to dry thoroughly before use. Now, this is the part. This is the part right here. Reapply every 7 to 10 days as needed until infestation is eliminated. So, the label for Temprid says you need to apply once every week to week and a half. So if your exterminator is only treating once a month, he's not treating to what the label of Temprid requires to get rid of bed bugs. So he's only treating once a month. He's not treating 4 times a month, which is what he should be doing, about once a week, which is 4 weeks in a month. So personally, I think you'll still have bed bugs at the end. If he's not following the label, he's not doing the job correctly. That's why I said the label is the law. It's the labeled directions. The reason the label says that you need to treat once every 7 to 10 days is because the residue is not going to be strong enough to kill the bed bugs outside of that time. So if he's coming and treating today, in a month, and he treats again, well, the chemical has not been killing bed bugs for, 3 weeks? So, you want it to kill the bed bugs the entire period, from the beginning of the service all the way through until the end of the month, until you come back to treat again. Crossfire lasts for a month. So when you treat today, in a month's time, if you need to treat again, you can. But the chemical is effective for the entire period, the whole month, not just 7 to 10 days. So that's why I recommend Crossfire over Temprid. Now, I already knew that Temprid was one of those chemicals that required, you to treat it more often. But I wanted to read that label because I know it's been a while since I have, and I thought it would be helpful to go ahead and just read the Temprid label live on the air. So no, I personally don't think that it's a very effective way to get rid of bed bugs using Temprid. In fact, just so you know, Virginia Tech has done research on Temprid and imidacloprid specifically, and claimed that it is the bed bugs have built a vast resistance to that pesticide, and it's not very effective on them anymore. So James said, I have used Crossfire 2 times. The first time I made mistakes, but the second time, after watching all of your videos, I'm sure I did a better job the second time. I also used an IGR mixed with the Crossfire. Now, IGRs do not work with bed bugs. But anyway, Coretta says, can I spray gel memory foam mattress topper? Yes, you can. I do that all the time. Biddy Pie says, moving will take me more than 30 days. Should I just spray once a month until I bring everything from storage? Yes. Yes, you should. That's what I would do. If I were in your place, that's what I would do. Suzanne says, how long does it take to get an infestation of bed bugs? A day. I mean, if you bring them in from a movie theater or a restaurant or a friend's house, a day, you can get infested. I mean, what's your definition of infested? Are you asking, is it 10? Is that an infestation? Is 2 an infestation? Is 200 an infestation? What is your idea of an infestation? I have been able to get rid of bed bugs in just one treatment when someone just got them, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and they just happened to notice them. But then I've also gotten rid of bed bugs when someone has had them for several years. I've gotten rid of bed bugs. Excuse me, hiccup. I just ate dinner maybe about an hour ago. I'm still having hiccups a little bit. Let's see. I can't get Crossfire, but Harris Gold Label eventually took them out. I can't get Crossfire in my state. Harris Gold Label is Crossfire. It's just pre-mixed. The problem with a pre-mixed pesticide is when you mix a pesticide. Let's say I go out right now and I mix a gallon of Crossfire and I sit it on the shelf and it sits there and it sits there and it sits there. How long is it sitting there, separating from the liquid, the water that it's mixed in, which does deteriorate pesticides? When you mix a concentrate in water, it deteriorates over time. And so when you go to the store and you buy a ready-to-use product, not just Harris Gold Label, I'm talking, any kind of pesticide, Home Defense, any chemicals, Syngenta Products makes them, lots of different companies have ready-to-use gallon sprayers with pesticide in them. How long has that pesticide been mixed sitting on that counter? That's what you got to ask yourself, because pesticides don't last forever once they're mixed. They last a lot longer when they're stored in the concentrated form. But even those will deteriorate over time, but a lot longer. You can have stored product for a couple of years and it's still just as good as the day it was packaged. But the problem is when they go and they mix it at the store. So a lot of times when you buy like Home Defense or Harris products or something like that, you may have to treat multiple times to get the same result as a one-time treatment with Crossfire. So, I called a bunch of people, but no one uses Crossfire. They use Temprid, the fungi one, and other stuff. I'm in Michigan and I'm not sure what to do. Should I have the 800 guys? I would, if he would spray Crossfire, I would hire him. But Apprehend is what you're talking about. The fungi one, that one might work, but I mean, it's up to you if you want to do it yourself. I don't want to recommend something that, you may not be capable of doing, but there are a lot of people that watch my channel that use Crossfire and get rid of the bed bugs on their own. So, I mean, what are you capable of doing? If you go and watch my videos and you see I've got several up there that are free, you just go find them. You don't even have to join my channel. Like I have that ad about, don't forget to join for $1.99 a month, and you could get my courses and everything that I put on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, on YouTube. But the thing is, I've got videos up there for free that I did years ago where I went in and treated this veteran's house and I did a full bed bug job, and you can watch me do it. And if you think you can handle that, then absolutely you could do it yourself. So just, follow the label, follow the directions. You'll get rid of your bed bugs. Let's see. I thought it was bed bugs at first. I was confused. I went my whole life in a city avoiding them. So I was seriously 2 years living in the middle of nowhere, but confirmed bat bugs. Oh yeah, bat bugs. They're no fun. They really confuse you. But you could spray just about anything to kill bat bugs. Do you have to use a whole 13 ounces of Crossfire in one shot? No, you don't, but it's hard to mix. A lot of people ask me if they can just mix a half a gallon and save the rest, or 32 ounces and save the rest. Look, let me show you. There are directions, all right? Now, I don't recommend mixing against the label, okay? Because it won't work. For one, it won't work. The problem is when you get a 13-ounce bottle of Crossfire, it's expecting you to mix the whole bottle. You can't measure it. But if you get a bottle like this, see how it's got all these measurements? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 ounces. You can easily measure what you're mixing and how to mix the right amount. Because if you scroll down here, it gives you this chart of mixing, so if you want a finished volume of only 16 ounces, all right, you use 14.4 ounces of water and 1.6 ounces of Crossfire, and it will cover 125 square feet. Okay, so it gives you these different ways to mix. But the problem is that, see, like here's the 13 fluid ounces. This is 1 gallon. This is the way I mix Crossfire. Technically, if I were to mix a gallon, this is how I would do it. Because a lot of times, if I'm just doing one job, I will only mix a half a gallon, and I'll only use 6.5 ounces. So about up to this level, I mix half a gallon. I mix about that much Crossfire. I don't mix a whole 13 ounces. But if you go down here, it'll tell you half a gallon. See, for a half a gallon, you can mix 6.5 fluid ounces of Crossfire. The problem is the bottle that they give it to you in. So they give it to you in this bottle right here. And it doesn't have a graduated cylinder. It doesn't have a real easy way to measure. You would have to use an alternative measuring device to make sure you're mixing it properly. And it's a lot easier to just mix this in a gallon. Now, can you use that gallon again? It says on the label. So if you look at the label of Crossfire, it says, okay. It wants you, I'm going to try to find it here. Okay, it says here, to prepare the diluted spray, fill the tank half full total water to be used, add the Crossfire concentrate, then add the remaining water to the spray tank to achieve the final application volume. Close the spray tank, shake thoroughly to ensure proper suspension. For optimal results, solution should be used within 24 hours of being prepared. Now, the reason you have to use it within 24 hours of preparing it is because it will start to separate out of the water. It says right here, spray tank solution should be shaken prior to each use or if application is interrupted. So if you, let's say, like, for example, if I'm doing a bed bug job and I have to stop and answer the phone because someone tries to call me and I'm standing there and I'm talking to somebody on the phone for 5 or 10 minutes and my tank is sitting there and the stuff is settling out of the water, then when I come back to it, I shake it up real good. So I re-agitate the pesticide. That's what they mean. And it says you can dilute it and store it overnight. So you can mix it and use it like the next day. But what I'm saying is it doesn't say that the pesticide won't kill bugs after 24 hours. It's telling you for optimal results, you should use within 24 hours of being prepared. That doesn't mean it won't still kill bugs in like 3 days or 6 days or 10 days. So let me explain to you what several people have told me. They've used Crossfire. They've mixed a whole gallon of Crossfire. One lady actually called me and told me that she gave the gallon to her sister. She had half a gallon left that was already mixed, that had been mixed 3 years ago in her garage. She shook it all up really well, gave it to her sister. Her sister went and treated her house for bed bugs, used the rest of it, and she's bed bug free. And it had been sitting mixed for 3 years. So, take that for what you will. That's what she did. Now, is that what the label recommends? Of course not. It says you got to use it within 24 hours of mixing it. But will it work outside of 24 hours? Yes, it will. It'll still kill bed bugs outside of 24 hours. So, and that's what people have told me. Now, that's hearsay. That's what people have told me. So as long as people are being honest with me, and I don't know why they wouldn't be, that's the stories that I'm getting. So, I don't know if Crossfire Concentrate has a shelf life. I don't know. Most pesticides do have a shelf life, so that's something you would have to ask the manufacturer, which is MGK. Can we use 2 different products, for example, Crossfire and Temprid, in case some bed bugs have immunity to a certain product? I haven't noticed any immunity to Crossfire. There is immunity to Temprid. Does Crossfire Concentrate have a shelf life? Oh, yeah, I already answered that. Thoughts on Crossfire Aerosol? I've had people say they use it. It sucks. I've had people say use it and had good results. So I just use the mix. I don't use aerosols. Why do states ban Crossfire? It makes no sense if it's same ingredients, but I had the small one to find bat bug issue. They said nasty when hungry. Okay. The reason states are banning pesticides is because politicians are morons. The reason they're banning Crossfire specifically is because politicians are not smart people. They bow down to the lobbyists and they do whatever it takes to get elected. That's why Crossfire is being banned in states. It's not banned. So when they say it's being banned, it means they take it away from everybody. But what they're doing is they're restricting the use. So they're doing this in California with rat poison, okay? They're eliminating the ability for consumers to purchase their own rat poison. They want professionals only to be able to apply it. In certain states, they want to eliminate the ability for consumers to purchase certain types of pesticides. Now, does that mean the pesticide's banned? No, because professionals can still get it, like me. So Virginia is starting to limit people's ability to get Crossfire. I can still buy it. I still get it because I'm licensed. I'm insured. I'm a pest control professional. So they'll sell it to me. But because other people are misusing pesticides and not obeying the label, it's taking it away from everyone. So everybody gets punished for the morons and the people that just don't follow directions. When you have a pesticide and it says 13 ounces per gallon, that's a strong chemical, okay? That's really strong. And then people will take it and spray it concentrated, or they will mix it twice the strength. Or they abuse the chemical. They don't obey the label. Okay, you need to obey the label. Or they spray it for something they're not supposed to. And then they end up poisoning something or killing something they're not supposed to kill with the pesticide. And so what the government does is knee-jerk reaction and say, okay, take it away from them. Don't let them have it. Don't let anybody have it. We got to get rid of it. You got to get away from them, because that's the government. That's how they are. They always overreact. But anyway, like when people go out and they chuck rat poison out in the middle of a cow field to kill cattle. I mean, not cattle, but to kill rats and mice. And then they end up killing somebody's dog or an animal that's not supposed to be killed with rat poison. Everybody gets in trouble for that one moron that broke the law, So that's the reason they ban pesticides. It has nothing to do with whether or not it's safe to use. It has everything to do with the fact that people don't follow the rules when they use a certain chemical. You know, it's like there's a reason that there's a label on an iron that says do not iron while wearing your clothes. Yeah, there's people out there that have tried to iron clothes while wearing them. That's why. The label is there to give you direction on how to use a specific product and not poison something you're not supposed to poison. Because it is a poison. It is a chemical poison. You need to have the right respect for what you're using. Let's see. Let's see. If you feel like you're getting bit, I'm not sure, Suzanne. Let's see. I wanted to thank you for the video and recommendation of Crossfire. I had them pretty bad and no money to pay for a professional. Following your videos, I was able to rid my house of them. Thank you. Well, thank you, Blake. That's good news. I love hearing good stories like that. Let's see. Biddy says, I already have a 1-gallon Chapin sprayer for the garden. Can I use that or do I have to buy the one of your video? Okay, so you don't want to use a sprayer you've already used with another chemical. I would suggest getting a new gallon sprayer, even if it's just a cheap Chapin sprayer or whatever from Walmart. That's fine. But you don't want to use a chemical. You don't want to use a sprayer that like Roundup or another pesticide has been in. It can cause problems with the Crossfire. So get a new sprayer, but you can get an $16 sprayer. Just use one of those. You don't have to buy anything on my channel. You don't have to buy anything that I promote. You don't have to buy any of it. It's just the reason that I talk about B&G products and stuff is because I use them in my business and I like them. B&G doesn't pay me anything. See, I'm not what I would consider an influencer. I'm not. I do not work for MGK. I do not get kickbacks from MGK, which they make Crossfire. I do not get kickbacks from B&G. They do not hire me. They do not tell me to promote their products. I don't get kickbacks from Chapin for the products I've reviewed from them. I don't get anything from these companies. I use this stuff in my company, in my business, and I just like, hey, this is good shit. I'm sorry. This is some good this is good stuff, you know? And I just tell you what to use. I don't make any money from those people. I should. MGK should have me selling their products because I could sell their products. I don't get paid. They don't pay me anything. So They don't. I know a lot of people think that, and they think I'm being paid. They think I'm getting some kind of kickback or something from these people, but I'm not. I don't want to. I want to be genuine. I feel like these influencers on YouTube, they're like, let me tell you about this Stanley. It's so amazing. I love it. I can't live without it. Oh, the water is the best water in the world because I'm drinking from my Stanley. And Stanley's paying them. MGK doesn't pay me anything, okay? I feel like it's more genuine that way. You know I'm not getting paid. And I would be required by law to disclose that to you. Now, the people that do pay me are Amazon. So I have an Amazon page with links there. I get a kickback when people buy things on my Amazon page. I get a commission, a like 2 to 3% sales commission. That's all I get. It's like next to nothing. They don't give me anything, hardly at all. The reason I have an Amazon page is so you can find what you need. And I even tell people, don't buy from my page, buy from whatever's cheaper. Like when I show you those do my own pesticide websites, you could get chemicals there. And a lot of times it's cheaper than Amazon. So, you know, I really just want people, I'm a visual aid kind of person. I like visual guides. I like to be able to look and say, oh, that's what I need. Okay, now I know what I'm looking for. Let me go and price compare and get a good deal. That's how I am. And I feel like that works for most people. The reason I made my Amazon page, and yes, I do get kickbacks from Amazon. I get, commissions from them. But the reason I made it is because I didn't know that my channel would be as big as it is. I had no clue that people wanted to know this much about bed bugs and cockroaches and stuff. I did this because my wife said, hey, you should make videos you'd be entertaining to watch. And so I did. And then I'm having people call me when I'm working, call me when I'm eating dinner, call me when I'm spending time with my family watching a movie or something because they're like, hey, I just saw you on YouTube. I want to know where to get this product. And for like 4 years, I had nothing but calls all the time from people that weren't even local, that were calling me from all over the world. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And I was watching this guy and he said, oh, check out my Amazon store. And so I went and I'm like, that's it. That's it. I can do that. I can put the stuff there and I can just point people there and say, hey, go look at this. This is what you need. And that's the only reason it's there. And people can believe me. They don't have to believe me. They don't, they could think I'm lying, but I'm legally required to disclose any kind of kickbacks I get from anybody, and if I were getting paid by MGK and I came out here and told you they don't pay me, I could go to jail for that. I could get fined for that. I could get in deep shit for that, but I'm not. They don't pay me anything. I don't get kickbacks from any pesticide company or anything at all. Just Amazon. They don't pay much. So, but anyway, I'm not one of these influencers. I hate influencers. I can't stand those people. And I mean, I understand that some people will have ads on their video and they'll have these sponsors and stuff. And that's how they're able to afford to do what they do. I have a living. I have my own business. I do pest control for a living. I love my business. I do YouTube for you guys. I do YouTube only to help. It's only something I do. It's a hobby I enjoy. I love my job. I have a passion for what I do and I want to share it with you. That's the only reason. It's the only reason I do YouTube, is because I like to help people. So I always have. I'm always been one of those people. All right, so let me get off my soapbox. Let's see. Let's see, Jason, can you honestly tell me if I have zero experience and I just spray baseboards, mattress, some floors, chairs, couches, and did this every month on repeat, eventually they must die? Yes, that's correct. I can honestly tell you that that's what people do, and they've told me. There are people. Is there anybody in chat right now? I have 33 viewers in chat right now. Is there anyone here who has been able to get rid of their own bed bugs on their own? I would like to see an emote, like a thumbs up or, anything in the chat to show that you have done it and you have gotten rid of them and you're not a professional. There are people here. There usually are people here. Anyway, the people have done it. I know I asked this last time, but I want to just double check. If I sprayed Crossfire in one spot and walked over it 25 times with or without sock shoes during a month, would it be removed? No, it won't. Or will the Crossfire stay no matter how many times I walk over it? It will stay until it loses effectiveness. It will stay there. It will. I have gone in houses where I have sprayed Crossfire and the Crossfire has been there for months because no one has actually scrubbed. Now you can scrub it. You could get yourself like a scrub daddy or, a sponge or something, and you can really work and you can scrub it up and get rid of it. But I've been in houses and the Crossfire residue has been there for 3 months. Now, if it kills anything out of 3 months, I don't think it does. I think it really needs, the once a month treatment. That's just what I've noticed. I have seen bed bugs living in old residues where Crossfire was sprayed like a year ago or 2 years ago. And I'll go and I'll flip the mattress up because they get bed bugs again. I flip the mattress up and I'm like, I can see where I sprayed Crossfire before. Well, I'll spray it again and I treat them and I kill them. So no, it'll stay there for a long time. The residue stays a long time because sometimes when you mix it, it comes out like this weird white goop. It doesn't do it every time, but sometimes it does. And so that's when you don't mix it good enough. You have to shake it real good. That's why I'm like, sometimes I've seen residue from my own self. Because even me being a professional, I don't always get it right every time. But how long does it take to eventually see a bed bug? Can you not ever see one? You will see them. If you have had let's say you've had bed bugs for 2 months or 3 months, you usually start seeing them by then. If not, usually within 3 to 6 months. If you've had bed bugs or believe you've had bed bugs for, let's say, a year, then you don't have bed bugs if you haven't seen them. If you think you've had bed bugs for a year or 2 years or 3 years and you still haven't seen any, then you don't have them. It's something else. What is the cost to have a professional come in and what is their process? So If I go treat for bed bugs, this is what I do. Everybody's got their own professional advice and what they think is the best way to get rid of bed bugs, but they're not right. What what I do to get rid of bed bugs is I go in, sheets, covers, comforters, everything's taken off the bed. I treat the mattress, around the seams of the mattress, anywhere I find evidence of bed bugs. Okay, number one. The box spring, I flip it up. Sometimes I even open it on the bottom and treat inside the box spring. It depends on the severity of the infestation. I don't like to take the felt off the bottom because it's someone else's bed. I don't like to, but I will. I actually have it written in my paperwork that sometimes those have to be removed, but it's only superficial. It doesn't provide any kind of structure for the mattress or box spring or whatever, and I remove that sometimes, and I treat inside it. I treat the bed frame, I treat the headboard, the footboard, the bed rails. Anywhere there's a crack, anywhere there's a joint, anywhere that a bed joins together with another bed, or screw, any of that stuff. I treat all that stuff. I treat the baseboards throughout the entire house. I treat the sofas. I flip sofas upside down. If the feet can come unscrewed, I unscrew the foot and I take them off and I treat underneath them. I treat inside couches. If there's a leather flap on the back that lifts up, I treat inside there. Anything I can get into a couch or a lazy boy recliner or a sleeper sofa, I fold the bed out. I treat that. I treat all that stuff. I treat anywhere you're going to sit for more than an hour. In some instances, I treat underneath the dining room table. I had a lady one time in Roanoke that I treated for bed bugs who actually started sleeping on her dining room table because it was the last place in her apartment that she could survive without getting eaten up with bed bugs. And what happened? The bed bugs started living on the table. So I had to treat the table for bed bugs underneath, like where the wood joins and the legs join to the bottom of the table. And so it's, really anywhere the bed bugs are in the house needs to be treated very thoroughly. And don't think, well, man, that chair is just so heavy, I don't want to lift that chair. No, you need to do that. You need to flip that chair upside down. You need to treat all around the legs. And you need to treat all up inside it the best you can and be very thorough. And sometimes you may have to throw a piece of furniture away, and understand that you might have to do that. Most people don't have to, but sometimes you do. It depends on the ability to treat it and how effective you are at treating that furniture. But it's an extensive job. Honestly, I tell all my customers, look, you are not paying for the Crossfire. You are paying for my knowledge and the fact that I've got to rearrange the heaviest furniture in your house by myself. It's expensive. It is hard work. Every bedbug job I've ever done, even the ones I do in the middle of winter, I am sweating like a pig when I'm done. It's a workout. You got to have shoulders. You got to have muscle to flip. And some of these, king size beds weigh like it's like they got bricks in that thing. It's a pain. It's a lot of work, but that's what you have to do the job right. You can't be afraid of some heavy lifting if you want to get rid of bed bugs. And heaven forbid you have a waterbed. I hate waterbeds. Oh, but the cost is really, it's relative to where you live. I've seen $1,600. I've seen $900. I've seen $16,000 for one bedbug job. It just depends on where you live and what the companies charge. Everybody has some kind of a different, I don't know what the sliding scale is for that, but yeah. I've never stained a piece of furniture. It says right on the label, it's not prone to staining, but try a inconspicuous spot first and just make sure. How long does it take to kill bed bugs after Crossfire has been applied? It just depends on how much they've been exposed to it. If a bed bug has just walked across it, it may take a couple days. If a bed bug has been soaked in it, it takes 5 minutes. It just depends. It really depends on how much exposure. That's why I tell people to be thorough when they treat, because the more thorough you are, the more likely the bug will come into contact with the chemical multiple times. And the more times it's exposed, the faster it will die. Like if you're exposed to a poison, let's say arsenic, if someone's trying to kill you with arsenic, they have to use over and over. You have to get continual exposure in order to die from it. Crossfire is the same way. The bugs have to be continually exposed to to die faster. It's not that they won't die from one exposure. It's just they die faster from multiple exposures. So, I've sprayed 2 times with Crossfire and no improvement. I was told bug probably resistant to Crossfire, so I have ordered Temprid and have used Gentrol IGR mixed with Crossfire. Gentrol does not work with Crossfire. If you sprayed, have you found dead bed bugs? Because you may just be not treating the right places, or you're not mixing it properly. I haven't had any resistance to Crossfire. The thing is Crossfire hasn't been out that long compared to Temprid. Temprid's been out for 30 years. Crossfire's been out for 10. So Crossfire's new. Temprid's old. So the way that pesticide resistance works is the more bugs that are exposed to a pesticide, the more bugs that are exposed to a pesticide, the more likely you're going to have chemical resistant bugs. But Crossfire has only been out for like 10, maybe 11 years. It hasn't been out that long. So not as many bed bugs have been exposed to Crossfire as Temprid. And that's why they're finding that in studies that Temprid is I think it's like a 40% resistance rate with Temprid. It's up there. It's pretty high. Let's see. Oh, these are the people that I said to tell that if they were able to get rid of bed bugs. So Dino said they got rid of bed bugs. Jen said they got rid of bed bugs. WTBM123 said they got rid of bed bugs on their own. Let's see. Suzanne says, when you treat furniture, can it stain? Oh, I already answered that. Mick says, if I spray my floor areas and couch with Crossfire and let it dry, then my 1-year-old baby you're not supposed to spray the floor. I have a 3-year-old, I have a 6-year-old, I have a 12, well, she'll be 12 in a week, my 12-year-old, I have a 20-year-old, and I have a baby on the way in June. I have treated my house with Crossfire, and I have not harmed any of my children. When I treated my house with Crossfire, my baby was 38 weeks. My baby was at 38 weeks, brand new baby, a day old. And I've never hurt my children with Crossfire. But you don't spray your floor. You're not supposed to spray the area. You're supposed to spray the edges, the baseboards. You don't spray the floor. Bed bugs won't live on the floor. They hide on your furniture and around the edges of the room. So the baseboard, down near the baseboard of the room. Now, you'll have to forgive me. My kids are artists. But the baseboard, that's the baseboard right there. You treat that. You don't treat the floor. You treat the baseboard. That door frame there. You treat that. But you don't treat the floor. You just treat the baseboards and the major furniture in the house. So you're seeing my nasty room, my kids there. You know, kids. But anyway, Charlie and Finley were in here coloring and cutting with scissors today, and they didn't clean up their mess. Homeschool. But you shouldn't have to worry about your baby crawling across the floor. It's not going to hurt the baby. You should treat your crib mattress. You know, here's the thing I'll surprise you with, okay? When you treat your house for bed bugs, you need to treat your crib mattress. You talk about the baby crawling across the floor, you need to treat the baby's crib. You need to treat the rails. You need to treat where the rails connect to the bottom, you know, where the crib goes together. You need to treat it just like a bed. You need to treat the mattress on the bed. You need to treat the seams all around the crib mattress so the bed bugs don't bite your baby, because they will bite your baby. It says on the label to treat all the mattresses in the house, and that includes crib mattresses. So if you're worried about the baby crawling on the floor, I think that's the least of your concern. The baby's going to lay in its bed, I would think. It's going to be more exposed to pesticide in the bed than on the floor. It's not going to hurt the baby. So. But either way, no matter where the mattress is, the baby's got to sleep on it. And the baby's going to be laying on it for multiple hours of a day. It's not like they're just crawling across the floor. They're going to be there, right there, for hours. It won't hurt the baby. I wouldn't lie to you. It wouldn't hurt the baby. It's not going to hurt the baby. If bed bug is exposed only one time and walks over dried crossfire, they are 100% going to die if someone points even takes 1 to 2 full days later. Maybe even longer than that if it's only one. So it depends. I don't understand how to explain this. I really don't. This is a question I don't get all the time. I mean, I do get this question a lot, but I don't get it as often. And I haven't figured out a way to explain it to people to where I don't keep getting asked the same question. But bed bugs exposed to crossfire die. How much crossfire does it need to kill a bed bug? It's relative to the bed bug. It's just the way it is. Bed bugs crawl across a bed, and they may take a week to die. They may die in 3 days. They may die in 10 minutes. It depends. You don't have any way of knowing how much chemical residue that bed bug actually contacted when it crawled through it. You don't know. You're guessing. If you spray a bed bug, you know that bed bug has been sprayed. It is going to die because you basically drowned a bed bug in chemical. It's going to die. But when it's dry, one, a dry pesticide takes longer to kill a bug than a wet pesticide. That's just the way it is. Two, you don't know how much of that residue the bug has actually contracted. Yes, you spray in that spot, but it dries at different rates. It hits the wall because when you spray, it's not a constant stream, even though it may look like it. It's water droplets that are coming out of the tip of the sprayer. So when you've got water droplets hitting a surface, it's gonna you can't tell because crossfire dries clear, so you can't tell where it's hit and where it hasn't hit. But the bed bug doesn't know either because it doesn't know what crossfire is. It can't tell it's crossfire. And so it crawls across it, and it may crawl across and avoid a couple spots and not actually come into contact with any of the residue. But it will eventually, as it crawls back and forth and going back in and out of the house, in and out of the wall and around the outlets and down the bed legs and stuff, it will eventually contract enough crossfire to kill it. It's not going to just crawl across it once. It's going to crawl across it multiple times until it dies. That's what they do. That's what all bugs do. If you have problems with ants in your kitchen and you've treated around your kitchen cabinets and your countertops and stuff, and the ants are coming out and they're crawling through it, they may not all die right away, but after they've exposed themselves to enough of the residue, then they die. And you'll find little piles of dead ants. And it's like, wow, I thought they were coming in all the way over near that window. Well, they were, but where you sprayed in that window, there's pesticide there, but it wasn't enough. And so then they kind of walk around and they get onto the countertop. Oh, there's more in that crack. So they get exposed to some more. And then they walk around and they find the donuts or whatever, and then they crawl back and they crawl back a different way. But they're getting into chemical multiple times, so multiple exposure kills them. One exposure may not be enough to kill a bed bug. It may not have been enough. It depends. Like if it's been a month and the chemical's not as strong, it may take it longer. It may not die. It may not die because there was not enough residue left to kill it. So one time, it's relative to how much it was exposed to. You don't know. It's not really an answer I can give. I can't tell you that if like you said, if the bed bug is exposed only one time and walks over dried crossfire, they are 100% going to die at some point, even if it takes 1 to 2 full days later. I don't know how I can't answer that. I can't be specific because I don't know how much exposure that it was. I mean, I can't even hypothetically, you don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because unless you've got a controlled lab and you know exactly how much chemical was put on that surface, you don't know how much it's been exposed to. My pro is using Alpine. Alpine is good. Alpine WSG is a good chemical for bed bugs. I have used it for bed bugs. It does work. Let's see. Yes, I remember New York City, they were eradicated, made a huge comeback in the late 90s, early 2000s. I wouldn't go to the movies. I wore bug spray everywhere. Hospitals and doctors' offices were infested. I hated it. I have personally witnessed crossfire kill bed bugs on contact. The ones that get to live seem to be stunned and basically non-functioning. Biddy Pie says, my new apartment was built It has built-in drawers. Should I pull out the drawers and spray before putting clothes inside? What about kitchen cabinets and near the floor? I would take out all the drawers and treat around the drawers, leave them out, let them dry, and then put your clothes in them and store them there. That's what I would do. If it's an apartment that's empty and you don't have anything in it, that's what I would do. That's what I did. Actually, when I went and treated that single wide trailer, I pulled everything out. I treated every crack, every crevice, everywhere. I was very thorough because you don't know how bad the bed bugs were. I could just see signs of them. I mean, I saw the droppings near the ceiling. I saw them everywhere. So I did everything. I got the bugs from a hotel that had been treated with Crossfire. I promise I have sprayed correctly and in the right spots. Can you suggest other product or should I continue to use Crossfire? I would suggest probably hiring somebody and getting them to use Apprehend. If you can't get rid of them yourself, you need to call a professional and get them to use Apprehend. Apprehend's the only thing, and I would not recommend using that yourself. You won't be able to do to do an adequate job. You just won't. I probably wouldn't even be able to do an adequate job with Apprehend. It takes a finesse, and it takes the person trained to use it. But that's what I would recommend. Do you treat termites? How do you tell the difference with a dry termite swarmer and a subswarmer? I don't have drywood termites in Virginia, but subterraneans are what I deal with, so I don't have to differentiate them at all. We don't have drywood here. If you're moving and have fleas, animals are treated. How do you prevent fleas from hitching to move either on you? Okay, so what you do is you treat the floor when you in the apartment you're moving to. Don't go in while it's drying. Do a complete flea job on the whole entire apartment or house or whatever. And then when you move in, no fleas will be able to live. They can't live on a human body. They have to fall off or jump off. And when they do, they jump on the floor and they die. The reason I sprayed the floor is because my mattress is sitting on the floor with only a bed sheet on it and it's pressed up against the wall. So spray around the bed and the floor. Okay, yeah, you just spray the floor under the mattress though. You don't spray the whole floor. You don't spray around the floor. So like, let's see. Let's do it this way. Because I'm a visual learner, I feel most people are visual learners. Let's do a drawing with Jason. Okay? So, let me see. What button do I push here? Right there. All right. So, if you have let's say you have a bedroom. And like you said, there's your bedroom. Boom. All right. You don't have a bed frame. So, let's put our bed right here. Now, this is not a regular bed because it doesn't have a bed frame. It's just a mattress on the floor. So where do you treat when it's a mattress on the floor? You don't treat here. You don't treat there. Okay? You don't treat there. Because that's still the floor. Just like if it was on a regular bed frame, you wouldn't treat there either. You treat the bed. So what you do is you treat your mattress and your box spring. If you don't have a box spring, it's just a mattress on the floor. Then you treat the seams of the mattress, like I said before, and you treat the area under the mattress, but under the mattress only, like it was the top of a box spring, or if it was the top of a platform bed. That's all. You don't treat this area. You don't treat this area right here at all. So like, you don't treat that. You don't treat that. You don't treat that. You don't do that. Okay? You treat the part under the mattress where it lays on the floor. That's it. And you treat your mattress. And you treat of course, your baseboards. So right around in here. Okay? It's easy. It's a lot easier when you just have a mattress on the floor. That's how you do it. You don't have to worry about a headboard or a footboard or a bed rail. And if the mattress is up in the corner, well, you do the same thing. You just treat under the mattress. You don't treat the floor. You don't have to treat the floor. You don't need to treat the floor. The bugs won't be there. They're not going to be there. And if they are, it doesn't matter. They got to crawl to the bed to get to you, and they crawl across the treated surface and they die. Very effective. It's very effective. That's all you have to do. So you're saying I should spray Gentrol? You don't use Gentrol. Won't work on bed bugs. It won't. It does not work. I know they're on the label. I know they claim it does, but studies have proven it does not work. It doesn't. Even when mixed 10 times the recommended dose, it does not work on bed bugs. IGRs, period. IGR stands for insect growth regulators, for those that don't know. It regulates the growth of a bug. It may stop it from growing its skin or passing on from one phase to the other or becoming a mature adult, whatever. It impacts the growth of a bed bug. They don't work on bed bugs. They do not work. They're not effective. It's a waste of money. IGRs just don't. They flat out do not work on bed bugs. They work on roaches. They work on fleas, but they do not work on bed bugs. They just don't work. Exterminators swear by them, but that's because they're idiots and they don't read. They don't research. PCT magazine. Do I have one? I don't have one nearby. I don't think I do. Let me see. Do I? No, I don't have one. I don't have one nearby, but okay. PCT magazine, Pest Control Technology. It is a magazine that is sent to pest control businesses. So I have it. I have a subscription. It's free. It's a quarterly subscription that comes to all pest control businesses that have a valid license. It's a free publication. They did a study with Gentrol specifically, and they wrote this huge article. And I even read it live on stream. I don't know which one it was, but it was like a couple years ago. And I read the article and I showed that it's got studies and peer review and everything in there explaining how IGRs don't work and why they don't work. But there's still people that swear by them and they use them, but they don't work. They don't work. Don't waste your money. My baby is sleeping on a mattress on the floor. We don't have a crib, okay? That's awesome. You guys do homeschool. We're planning to homeschool our kids. Yeah, I homeschool my kids. I was homeschooled, believe it or not. I went to elementary school, but in middle school, my parents took me out and homeschooled me until I graduated. So I've actually had some college and everything. But yeah, I was homeschooled. All of my kids are homeschooled. My wife, the only public school she's got is college. She was only homeschooled, and she's brilliant. She got like a 4.0. She's really smart. But yeah, all my siblings were homeschooled, and so we're a big homeschool family. Is there any special way you can spray inside your car? You can spray inside your car with a regular sprayer. I have videos on how to do that too. Can I spray the IGR in the second time I sprayed, I know I did it correctly. Well, I don't think you did it correctly. Because if you still had bed bugs, I don't think you did it correctly, because you should have been able to kill your bed bugs. If you actually had bed bugs, if you really have bed bugs and you sprayed and mixed correctly, then you should have gotten rid of your bed bugs. So how long until bed bugs make their way to the first floor if infestation started upstairs and a host moved away? A few days, not long. What is he talking about? I have bed bugs. Gosh, someone please help me. Well, what's your question, Tony? Carrot says, love Tony, get Crossfire if you can't. Yeah. Crossfire works. Talking about bed bugs. All right. So the first video I ever did on my channel was why heat treatments don't work on bed bugs. In just a matter of weeks, it got over like 200,000 views. I couldn't believe it. I've made videos on cockroaches. I've made videos on fleas. I've made videos on, gimmicks in the pest control business. And whenever I post a video about bed bugs, people like them. They view them. I think YouTube sees me as a bed bug professional, and that's what they put in front of people. But I've been doing pest control for almost 38 years. That's a long time. Since I was 6 years old, I've been in the pest control industry my entire life. I've been on a route for 31 years. I've been licensed for 26 years. I have done pest control for a long time. And I've got a lot of knowledge about a lot of bugs. But people want to know about bed bugs. This used to be called the Bed Bug Show. But I changed it to the Bug Show because I was like, well, I don't want people to think I won't answer questions like about termites like that guy earlier. But everybody wants to know about bed bugs. So I talk about bed bugs. That's what they want to know. But I've been researching. So the very first job that I did for bed bugs, I was 17. I turned 17 in December. My birthday's in December. And then I got my pest control license in, I think it was February. So I turned 17. I got my pest control license in February. That summer, I did my first bed bug job. I had a route. I had 2 routes. I had a first Wednesday and I had a third Wednesday in Roanoke, Virginia, because there's so many people that live in Roanoke. I couldn't do it all in one day. So I would go into a restaurant on my first Wednesday. I would get there at like 4 a.m., really early, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It was really early. I would do the restaurant. I had keys and alarm codes and everything. I'd go in, I'd service the restaurant. This way, I'm not servicing the restaurant when they're trying to cook. You know, you don't want your pest control guy going in and spraying a restaurant and getting pesticides in your food. So I would go when no one was there. I require my restaurants to let me come in when no one's there, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get rid of their bugs because I can't do an adequate job. So anyway, I got there first thing in the morning, I'd spray. And then I would come later in the day around lunchtime and I'd get them to pay me when they were open. And so I got in there and the waitress comes up to me, the one that always paid me, and she said, "Hey, Jason, I think I got bed bugs in my house and this is where I live." And I'm like, because she lived in the northern side of Roanoke and I was doing the southern side of Roanoke that day. And so I told her, I said, "Well, I'll be up there in 2 weeks. I'll bring everything I need. I can take care of them." And I went home and I told my dad, guess what I've done? And he's like, "Well, I've never dealt with bed bugs before, Jason. I don't even know what they are. They must be mosquitoes. It's probably not really bed bugs. I didn't even think bed bugs were real. But if they are and you got to deal with them, then just go look up." Now, back then, the internet was dial-up. That's all it was. And so I went to the library. It was the best place to get internet signal. And I searched what I could. I actually looked through the Earthlink and Prodigy billboards because there wasn't Google. Google didn't exist. You know, a lot of your search engines weren't even invented yet. It was the early years of the internet. And then I pulled up the World Book Encyclopedia, the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I pulled a lot of newspaper articles from major newspapers from all over the United States. And I read about how pest control people got rid of bed bugs. And I'm like, well, you know, if they use DDT, this chemical might work. And I read the label. I'm like, oh, sure enough, bed bugs are on the label. So why don't I try this? And I went out and I've been treating them ever since. And I've been learning about them ever since. And so I've been learning about bed bugs really steadily for 26 years. I enjoy it. I like it. And it's crazy that I'm here on YouTube telling you how to kill bed bugs. It really is surreal to me, because when I started YouTube, it was really just as a way to promote my business locally, locally in like Lynchburg, Virginia, not telling people all over the world in different states. Like, just out of curiosity, with the 32 people that are here right now, what state is everybody in? I just to give me an idea, Yeah, and I'm just curious. I know where Coretta's from. I know you. I know who you are. I know you. I know you. There's Marilyn. But I'll tell you what, when it really hit me. So I had been on YouTube. I didn't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. And I had a lady call me from New Zealand at 3 a.m. And it wasn't 3 a.m. here. I mean, it was 3 a.m. here. It wasn't 3 a.m. there. And I was like, what have I done to myself? I have gotten on this YouTube that's worldwide and put myself out there explaining to people what I do for a living. What have I done? What have I done? Crazy. Because I'm just a good old boy from Bedford, Virginia. So, let's see. Maryland, Connecticut, Ohio, New York, Texas, Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan. Just the best coast. Oh, so the East Coast? Ohio. See, I know where you're from, Coretta. I know you. I know you. I could call you if I wanted to. I got your number. Do you have professional experience that Gentral IGR doesn't work? personal experience. I don't use it because it doesn't work. I don't need, if I've got lab results where they have mixed it 10 times the normal strength in a controlled lab and can't get it to work on bed bugs, it's not going to work in the field. It's just not. It's proven not to work. I'm not going to go and use something that's been proven not to work. That's stupid. I'm not going to do that. So, but yeah, IGRs don't work. They don't work. I wish I had that article. I'm going to have to find that article. Let me see if I can find it, because I may just have to read it again. And I'm going to have to make a video on how IGRs do not work on bedbugs. Let's look together. Let's see if we can find it together. All right. PCT magazine. All right. Here's PCT magazine. Okay. See, PCT. This is the magazine I get. It's a quarterly magazine that I get. I think it's quarterly anyway. I don't know. They send them to me all the time. I get them all the time. Okay. Let's search IGR and bed bugs. This is, now it's a lot. Oh, there's one from 2012. This might be the one, but 2012 would have been when my daughter, let me see. Insect growth regulators have a long history of effective use against urban pests, including fleas, cockroaches, termites, stored product invaders, and mosquitoes. IGRs are attractive management tools. All right, so I'm not going to read this whole entire thing, but let's see if we can find. Evaluating IGRs in bedbug-infested dwellings is problematic. Since the compounds are not intended to kill quickly, they're usually applied in combination with other fast-acting materials like Crossfire and other pesticides. This makes it harder to segregate results attribute to IGR alone because they're not designed to kill quickly. That's the problem, okay? Consequently, experiments were designed to closely monitor effect under controlled conditions in the laboratory. So they couldn't do it in the field. They had to do it in a lab, okay? Because they couldn't get adequate results in the field. All right. 3 different bedbug population strains were utilized. Okay. Colonies tested, blah, 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 blah. Adult females must also blood feed in order to lay eggs. Bedbugs in different life stages. Let's see. Direct spray groups. Groups of 10 bedbug eggs from New York City, 1 strain, were sprayed directly with Precor at the labeled concentration 1 time, or 2 times the labeled concentration, 2 times for fleas. Gentrol at 2 times the labeled concentration for bedbugs. So 2 times. So they're mixing it twice as strong as labeled for bedbugs. Okay. So it's not the normal dose. It's twice the strength. 3 times the recommended concentration for bedbugs or water alone. Each of the 5 treatments was applied to groups of eggs laid within previous 24 hours or 48 to 72 hours. Immediately after spraying, the eggs were transferred to a clean container and monitored daily for effects on hatching. Okay, so that's on the direct eggs. That's on the eggs, okay? The elevated concentration of Gentrol compared to water alone was sprayed directly onto groups of 20 third instar, 1 strain. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is telling you how they got it. All right. Now this is the funny thing. Okay, they got water, the same results with water. Actually, Gentrol at 3 times strength was less than water results. You see what I'm saying? These are the results. This is the proof is in the pudding, right? All right. Direct spray of eggs and nymphs. No adverse effects were observed. None. No adverse effects were observed when bedbug eggs were sprayed directly with Precor or Gentrol, regardless of concentration. Okay, it didn't matter if it was 2 times or 3 times or 1 time. It didn't matter. It didn't work. It didn't work. They had no results. None. So now Do you understand why I don't use IGRs to kill bed bugs? Because they don't work. They've been proven not to work. Yeah. This is old. This is an old report. There have been newer ones, but this is the report. That's PCT Online. It's a magazine that's provided to professionals like me. I never knew it was available to everybody, but apparently it is. Because I know that they send them to me in my post office box. But yeah, it says adults continuously exposed to dry residues, no mortality or effects. Look, let's see, I just caught this. This is actual adults. No mortality or effects on egg production or hatching occurred from confining adults on any IGR treatments, which that's the point of an IGR, is to keep them from being able to reproduce, from growing, okay? Nymphs continuously exposed, neither IGR adversely affected nymphal development, so it didn't work on the babies either. No decline in product or viability of eggs results. It's no good anywhere. It's just trash. But IGRs work really good on roaches, and they work really good on fleas, and they work really good on other types of insects, but they just don't work on bed bugs. They just don't work. And I know exterminators will swear by them, but the proof is there. They've proven. I think it's more they just used to using it on other bugs and like, well, it works so good on roaches, it must work on bed bugs, but it really doesn't. It really doesn't work. So anyway, hopefully I've helped you guys tonight. Let's see. I'm going to look one more time here. Let's see. I used Ortho Bedbug Killer before I found you. Did I make a mistake? It seemed to make it worse. I used Crossfire shortly after. Yes, you may need to use. You may need to use it again. It depends on the residue of the pesticide you've used. So Ortho Bedbug Killer, if it was bifenthrin, deltamethrin, they can have anywhere from 60 to 90 day residual. And so you may need to spray Crossfire for a couple months until that chemical wears off, and then it will work just fine. So I know it's frustrating, James. It is. There's a lot of companies out there that sell snake oil. But to kill bed bugs, it's once a month for 90 days. Okay. That's what I recommend for the novice. I know people that have gone 4 to 6 months and they finally got rid of their bed bugs. Be patient and stick to it. You'll get rid of your problem. If I had bed bugs, what I know, I occasionally have itchy spots, but I can't find other evidence of bugs. If you've had the thought of bed bugs for 3 to 6 months and you still haven't seen one, you probably don't have bed bugs. It's probably something else. But I've got to go. It's been over an hour. I have a deal with my wife that if I live stream on Thursday nights, I try not to stay longer than an hour, because I do this for you guys, because I love you guys. I do. I know that sounds mushy, but I love to help people, and I really like to do my YouTube, and it's fun. But I got to go. I've got. Oh my God! See, if you had waited, I wouldn't have had to block you. But now I got to block you, because spraying brake cleaner on your mattress is a stupid advice, and now I had to get rid of it. But there's Kristen. Hey, Kristen, nice to see you tonight. Yeah, see, Kristen, do you get PCT magazine? You might. I don't know if you get it or not. But yeah, I can't convince people that IGRs don't work. And even PCT magazine has got article after article showing that they don't work. IGRs mixed with Crossfire won't have an effect on Crossfire. It shouldn't. I don't know for sure. I don't know. You'd have to call MGK. Call MGK. They have a number. Call MGK and ask them, because they know what chemicals you can and cannot mix with Crossfire. I don't know. It's not on the label, so I don't know. I don't mix anything with Crossfire. I just use it straight. I use it straight in water. I mix water with it, but I don't mix any other chemicals with it. So anyway, y'all have a great night. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Have a great night.